Everybody, Heather here. So today we're going to be coloring this super cute CC Designs image called Umbrella Lulu. Isn't she cute? Adorable. So in this card kit, you're going to get this image, and you're also going to get a sentiment set that comes with this cute little sentiment here, and these little umbrella stamps, and a few others that come in the sentiment set. So you get 2 stamps in this card kit. I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I used on the card. I would love for you to come shopping with me and give me a try. I have already stamped my image on Nina 80-pound Solarite cardstock with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So let's color. So we're not going to outline our image this time because we're going to cut her out. So let's start with her skin. For that, we're going to use E11, E21, E00, E000. For her cheeks, I'm going to use R43, R20, and R30. I'm going to start down here on her hands, and I'm going to start with E11. So I'm going to go ahead and start down here. Let's just give each one of these hands a little brush of color. And same for this side. Next, I'm going to grab E21. Just add a little bit more on top there. E00. And then I'm going to fill them in with my E000. And I tend to brush over the entire area with my last color. Next, let's go up here and do her face. So again, I'm going to start with E11, and I'm going to do her, she's got a little bit of a neck showing here, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a little brush real quick. And then I just want to use this color up here along her bangs. So I'm just going to outline her bangs. Go right along this one. I'm going to make a smaller little line there by that little section. And come down this side. Let's see, I missed a couple spots. Next I'm going to go with E21. And I'm going to brush some more on her neck here. And then we're going to bring this color down. I'll work my way clear across. And then I'm going to use this color also to go around her face. Next I'm going to grab E00. Add a little bit more. Work my way around. And I'm not worried that the color isn't, the line's not blended, because after I do the cheek color, I'm going to, this is E000, I'm going to go back over it. So I'm just adding a layer of color this first time through. Next I'm going to add some cheek color, so for that I'm going to grab my E43. And let's go ahead and brush that. And then R20. And then R30 to just soften the edge. And I'm going to do my face again. So I'm going to grab E21. I skipped the E11 the second time through. I'm going to take my E21 and I just want to lay my pen a little bit more sideways so I can brush a little bit easier on the edge here. Same for this side. I'm brushing over that cheek. Then I'm going to grab my E00. I'm actually going to bring this color around her eyeball this time. Same for this side. I'm going to come around the outside of her eye. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E000. And then if you think your cheeks have gotten too light, go ahead and just do a second coat and then put your E000 over the top. For her hair, I'm going to use E27, E25, and E23. I'm going to start with my E27. I'm just going to very carefully give right next to her hat a little brush. And just work my way down, and then she's also got a little section right down here that I'm going to give a little bit of color on. And I want to do this side. And it's a very small area, so you have to be very careful. And let's do some down here. And next I'm going to go with E25. Let's add some more color in there. And then I'm going to fill it in with my E23. Like I said, there's not much space there, so you got to just add a little bit each time. Work my way over to this side. And then I'm going to take my E27 and just add a few little streaks back in. For that little patch of shirt she's got there, I'm going to use C00, and I'm just going to go outline right along the edge and underneath this umbrella and then leave a little white space right there. For her coat, I'm going to use E42, E41, and E40. I'm going to start with my E42, and I'm just going to do the body of her coat. So let's go ahead and start right here, like this. And I'm going to turn it this way a little bit. Brush some on this side of her arm. And bring this color down along the umbrella. And then for this sleeve, she's got a little bit of a crease right here. I'm going to exaggerate that. And then I'm going to bring this color underneath of her arm. And let's go ahead and add a little bit on this pocket. I better do a little bit up here too, right here. And along her hand, maybe just a tiny dab. Next I'm going to grab E41. And we're going to go over here, and we're going to soften this edge. And let's bring this down around this collar a little bit. soften the edge of that color. I'm going to go ahead and fill this side in since it's underneath of the umbrella handle there. And then E40, I'm going to go over the entire area. And if you get some on the buttons, no big deal because we're going to color those black. So any color you get on those, it will just go right over the top. For the pocket and the umbrella handle, we're going to use W7, W5, and W3. So let's start with our W7. Let's give a little bit of that on the bottom side of our umbrella here, our little handle, along the top of her hand. And then for the pocket, I'm going to go underneath the top of the pocket. And then I want to go, she's got a little dent in her pocket right here, so I'm going to go underneath that. And I'm going to add a little dab over here underneath this flower petal. And then I'm going to grab W5 and add some color on top. And just work our way down along our pocket. And this time I bring this color around this flower petal. And then I'm going to fill it in with W3. So let's go ahead and fill in the rest of our pocket with our W3. And of our handle. I'll give this another brush. Didn't blend very good the first time, so I'm going to go ahead and go over it one more time. And then for the top of the pocket, I'm going to use W00 just to fill in this top part right here. Let's also go over here where we got the blacks out and do these buttons. So let's do W7. Give each button a little dab. W5. W3. I think I'll fill it all the way in. There's not much left there. For the bottom part of the umbrella down here, I'm going to use C1 and C00. So I'm going to start with my C1, and I didn't make it complicated. I'm just going to go under her hand and down the back of the handle, and then I'm going to take my C00 and I'm going to fill it in. And then for the flower over here on her pocket, I'm going to use Y18 to fill in the petals. And up here on her hat, she also has a flower, so I'm going to, as long as I got it out, I'm going to fill in this flower. Let's move on to the blue-green of her hat next. So we're going to use BG 15, 13, 11, and 10. I'm going to start with my BG 15. And let's do the brim here. So go ahead and do it down this side. And then I'm going to brush up a little bit. Same for this one. I want to do this side. And then we're going to brush up a little bit. I'm going to grab BG 13 next. Bring that color up a little bit further. Same for this side. And I'm laying my ink down on top of the last color just a little bit. This is BG 11. Go over that a few times so it softens that edge. And this is go on this side too. So again, I've laid down on top of my BG 13 and I'm brushing over it until that line is gone. And then I'm going to take BG 10 to fill this in. I'm going to go over here by my flower and go this way so I don't color my flower on accident. Same for this side. Let's get around our flower. And then we're going to brush up and fill that in. And for the top up here, I just picked a couple of stripes. So let's start on this stripe here. And again, I've got BG 15. And let's do this little cap. And then I'll skip a stripe and we'll do this stripe. I want to do above the brim of her hat. Same for this side. And next is BG13. BG11. And I have to brush over with the BG11 a couple more times to soften that edge because it's quite a bit lighter than the 13. Give it one more section here. Okay, I'm gonna let that go and we'll see how that goes. And then I'm going to go over the entire thing with BG10. Okay, and I'm thinking it still looks a little bit patchy, so I'm going to skip 15 and I'm going to go with BG13. Get it a little bit wet. And BG11. And then BG10 over the whole thing. I'm liking that better. We're also going to use these colors down here on the umbrella. And actually I should probably do this little button up here one more time. Okay, so for the umbrella we're going to skip stripes. I'm going to do this stripe and this stripe. So I'm going to start with my BG15 and let's do right next to our duck first. Okay, so I started my line there because I didn't want to go outside the lines, but now I'm going to go back and just flick off that line a little bit so that I can make the edges of my ink a little bit softer. And let's do this button and this section here. So I'm going to grab my BG13 next. Same thing, we want to go add some more color, so I'm touching down on top of my 15 and pulling past that line. And let's do that same thing over here. And I'm going to fill in my bottom of my umbrella button there. BG11's next. BG10. I'm going to go back with my BG 13 BG11 and then BG10 to fill it in. For the alternate stripes, we're going to use YR02, 01, 00, and 000. So let's start with our YR02 up here on our hat. And we're going to do a little bit up here towards the top. And some down here by this brim. Same for this side. And then down here by the brim. Next is YR01. YR00. And YR000 to fill it in. Now we'll hop down here into our umbrella. So again, I'm going to start with my YR02, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in, well, I'll leave a little bit of space at the top. So we're going to leave a little bit of white there at the top of the umbrella, so we can put our YR01 on there. Carefully go around our duck here. Okay, and then for this bottom section, I'm going to go ahead and brush from each side. So that side, and then this side. Next I'm going to grab YR01, and I want to fill in up here at the top of my umbrella. So I don't forget, I'll do that now. And then we want to add color down here. YR00. And YR000 to fill it in. We're also going to use these colors on our collar of her coat, so I'm going to start with my YR02. Give it a little brush up here underneath of her chin and along the edge of this umbrella stick. Then I'm going to grab YR01. Add a little bit more. YR00. And our YR000 to fill it in. Let's hop down here and do the duck next, and for that we're going to use YR24, 23, 21, and 20. I'm going to start with my YR24. I'm going to use that to add a little bit of color along the bottom of my duck. And I'm also going to go underneath these wings. And let's add a little bit of color here along his neck and on his chin. And up the back of his head just a little bit. Then I'm going to grab YR24, 23. And I want to add some color on top. Just brushing right on top of my last color and pulling that around a little bit. I'll bring this side out just a little bit more. Then we'll do a YR21. And I better do over here a little bit. Soften that edge. And then I'm going to fill it in with my YR20. for the beak, let's use YR 18, 15, and 12. I'm going to start with my YR 18. And I'm going to do that color right here next to his body. I'm also going to use a little bit down here. You can kind of see his foot in the water, so I'm going to add a little dab of my color down there. Next is YR 15. And again, I'm going to add a little bit of color down here on his foot. And I'm going to fill it in with my YR 12. I got a little bit of my umbrella color on there, so I'm going to use my color here to kind of push that off. So that leaves us with the water down here, and so for that we're going to use W1, W00, and B_0. So I'm going to start with my W1, and I'm going to just give it a little bit of shadows. So I'm not really being careful about it. I'm just going to kind of go around him. Then over here, around the underneath of my umbrella, kind of swirl it around. And I'm going to grab W00, and I want to just catch kind of the edges of that last color. And bring it out here. And then we'll take our B000, and same thing. I'm not being really careful. I'm just kind of swirling around in there. There is our beautiful umbrella Lula, all colored up. Doesn't she look fabulous? And again, here's the finished card. So on my card, I've added some Sharpie white paint pen to her cheeks, up here onto the green sections, the blue-green sections of the hat, down here on the umbrella on the blue-green sections. I also did a few little lines. So right here, I've got a little line on my orange section and on her hat, or not her hat, her collar on her shirt. And then right here on her umbrella, I put a little bit of a white space. And then for the flowers, I added some Stickle Stardust. But this time, the card is actually popped up on one of these, this little image is popped up on one of these little action wobble things. So this whole part, when you wiggle it, she like flips around like she's sitting in the umbrella and kind of is wobbly. But your kit's going to come with one of these little wobble things. And when I cut my girl out, what I did is I didn't get as close down here right above this umbrella and along the section, you know, down along the bottom here. I made it a little bit wider so that my piece, when I stuck it out down here, I only had to trim it a little bit on this section right here to fit, so you wouldn't see it anymore. So just be aware that when you're cutting it out that you're going to need this big piece of wobble underneath there. And you can trim it off until you get down to the plastic here, but I only had to trim it just a little bit right in this corner where it was kind of poking out a little bit. But it was kind of fun. I've had those action wobble on my desk for a while now, wanting to try them out, and I just had to find the perfect image, and I thought this would be perfect with her sitting on the umbrella because she'd be all like wobbly and twisty. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.